Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we will be discussing from 4 verses, the 34th, the 35th, the 36th and the 37th verses of the 13th chapter of the first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. The description is continuing about Yudhishthira searching for his missing uncles and aunt. The 34th verse, Pitari uparate pandau sarvanas surudas shishun arakshatam vyasanataha pitruvyau kwa gatav itaha. The meaning of this verse is, when my father Pandu fell down and we were all small children, these 2 uncles gave us protection from all kinds of calamities. They were always our good well-wishers. Alas, where have they gone from here? This is spoken by Yudhishthira to Sanjaya while inquiring from Sanjaya about the uncles and aunt who are missing from the palace. The 35th verse, Suta Vacha. We should remember that Suta Goswami is speaking, narrating this, describing these incidents to the sages of Naimisharanya. Suta Vacha, Kripaya Sneha Vaiklavyat Suto Viraha Karshitaha Atmeshwaram Achakshano Na Pratyaha Atipiditaha. The meaning of this verse is, Suta Goswami said, because of compassion and mental agitation, Sanjaya, not having seen his own master Dhritarashtra, was aggrieved and could not properly reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Immediately Sanjaya could not respond to Yudhishthira's inquiry. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Sanjaya was the personal assistant of Maharaj Dhritarashtra for a very long time, and thus he had the opportunity to study the life of Dhritarashtra. And when he saw at last that Dhritarashtra had left home without his knowledge, his sorrows had no bound. He was extremely sorry that somebody whom he had served for a very long time had left home without informing Sanjaya. So Sanjaya was fully compassionate toward Dhritarashtra because in the game of the battle of Kurukshetra, King Dhritarashtra had lost everything, men and money. And at last the king and the queen had to leave home in utter frustration. You can just imagine how much frustrated Dhritarashtra should have been. So Sanjaya was quite conscious of that, and therefore he felt very sorry for them. He studied the situation in his own way because he did not know that the inner vision of Dhritarashtra has been awakened by Vidura, and that therefore he had left home in enthusiastic cheerfulness for a better life after departure from the dark well of home. So Srila Prabhupada says, Sanjaya doesn't know that Dhritarashtra's inner vision has been awakened by Vidura, and he has cheerfully left the palace, not in frustration. So Srila Prabhupada says, unless one is convinced of a better life after renunciation of the present life, one cannot stick to the renounced order of life simply by artificial dress or staying out of the home. Sometimes nowadays people leave home and go away to some ashram, but such renunciation will not last unless they are properly fixed up in that renunciation by being convinced of a better life after quitting home. Being convinced of a better life. The 36th verse, Vimrujya ashruni panibhyam vishtabhyatmanam atmana ajata shatrum pratyuche prabho padav anusmaran. The meaning of this 36th verse, first he slowly pacified his mind by intelligence, and wiping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Sanjaya, he pacified his mind because he was disturbed on not finding Dhritarashtra in the palace. So he pacified his mind by his intelligence. In the Bhagavad Gita it is explained that the mind is superior to the senses, the intelligence is superior to the mind, the soul is even superior to the intelligence. So, one can pacify the mind by intelligence, because intelligence is higher. If one's intelligence is not working, then one can get the mind pacified by taking instructions from somebody else who is more intelligent, who is spiritually awakened. So, Sanjaya pacified his mind by his intelligence, and wiping away his tears, thinking of the feet of his master Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. What was his reply? That's the next verse, 37th verse. Sanjaya Vacha. Sanjaya is replying to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Naham Veda Vyavasitam Pitrorvah Kulanandana Gandharya Va Mahabaho Mushitosmi Mahatmabhihi. This is the most important point here in this verse. Mushitosmi Mahatmabhihi. What's the meaning of this? The meaning of this verse, the 37th verse. Sanjaya said, he's speaking to Yudhishthira, replying to Yudhishthira's inquiry, my dear descendant of the Kuru dynasty, Kuru Nandana, he's addressing Yudhishthira in that way. I have no information of the determination of your two uncles in Gandhari. I have no information. I do not know where they have gone. O king, I have been cheated by those great souls. Mushitosmi means I have been cheated. By whom? By those great souls. Mahatmabhihi. This is Sanjaya's attitude towards Dhritarashtra, Vidura and Gandhari, elders. This is our culture. Regardless of what they may do or not do, the elders are to be offered proper respect by the younger ones. This is the culture. So, Sanjaya is confessing to Yudhishthira that I have been cheated by them because they never informed me where they are going. I was taking care of them, especially Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that great souls cheat others may be astonishing to know. If they are great souls, why should they cheat? So, Srila Prabhupada explains very clearly in this purport. Kindly hear attentively. That great souls cheat others may be astonishing to know, but it is a fact that great souls cheat others for a great cause. They have a solid reason to cheat others under very, 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 very special circumstances, rarest of rare cases. Such great souls, Mahatmas, who are basically devotees, they sometimes, for a greater cause, they do cheat others. So it is explained here by Srila Prabhupada. It is said that Lord Krishna also advised Yudhishthira to tell a lie before Dronacharya. Yudhishthira is the greatest moralist of his time. But he was told by Krishna, tell a lie to Dronacharya, his own teacher. Tell a lie. And it was also for a great cause. The Lord wanted it, and therefore it was a great cause. Whatever the Lord wants, that is the greatest thing one can do. Satisfaction of the Lord is a criterion of one who is bona fide. And the highest perfection of life is to satisfy the Lord by one's occupational duty. That is the verdict of Gita and Bhagavatam. Both the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam describe this. Where is it said in the Gita that the highest perfection of life is to satisfy the Supreme Lord by one's occupational duty? In the 18th chapter, the 46th verse says, Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. What's the meaning of this verse? By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. So one attains perfection by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, while a person performs his own duties as prescribed in the Shastra. One can please the Lord in this way. In the Bhagavatam, it is said, Ata pumbir dvijashreshta varnashrama vibhagasha swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. It is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. Highest perfection, samsiddhi, is haritoshanam, satisfy or please Lord Hari. So therefore Prabhupada says, Dhritarashtra and Vidura, followed by Gandhari, did not disclose their determination to Sanjaya, although he was constantly with Dhritarashtra as his personal assistant. Sanjaya never thought that Dhritarashtra could perform any act without consulting him. But Dhritarashtra's going away from home was so confidential that it could not be disclosed even to Sanjaya. And Srila Prabhupada gives more examples. Sanatana Goswami also cheated the keeper of the prison house while going away to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanatana was trying to get relief from the duties in the royal palace of the King Nawab Hussain Shah of Bengal. He was the minister. So he cheated the prison keeper and went away to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. Raghunath Das Goswami also cheated his priest and left home to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. So to satisfy the Lord, anything is good, for it is in relation with the absolute truth. That's the conclusion. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.